Welcome to Entertainment Fanatics. I'm your host, Don Wen. On this episode, I'm interviewing Mike Oppenheim, who has a long history of working in the entertainment industry. We discuss his background, his fascination of being a filmmaker, and his advice for aspiring professional who has a strong desire to work in this field. Thank you for listening and enjoy the show. Hi, Mike. It's a great to have pleasure you have on my podcast today.
Hi, it's good to meet you.
Shija, can you share your background in the entertainment industry with the listeners?
Yeah. Um, so I started out, my earliest memory is like singing in a crib, according to my mom. So it's not my earliest memory, it's hers. And I was really into music as a kid. I remember hearing Smells Like Teen Spirit on the radio after already being a huge Guns N' Roses fan. And I loved especially the lead guitar of Slash. And then I loved the guitar on Smells Like Teen Spirit. So I basically just pleaded and begged my parents for a guitar when I was 10 and I was turning 11 that summer. And I got them to give me a guitar like a month and a half before my birthday because I was that like into it. But I think my parents were really smart because they understood what all parents do if they pay attention to their kids. They could tell it was like a real earnest interest. It wasn't just like a fleeting goal. So I got really into guitar and I played like every day, like all those cliche stories. My fingers were bleeding and I didn't care. And then one thing led to another, and I went to college because my parents warned me about like work and income and how that was going to be an important part of life. And so I went to college and got a degree, but I still wanted to play music. So I started a rock band and the rest was history.
What got you interested of being a filmmaker?
Definitely just watching movies as a kid, like Indiana Jones and all those kind of movies. My brother would make me watch every movie he wanted to watch. He was 2 years older than me, so he was born in '79. I was born in 1981. So we were like up in the heydays of like just dumb comedies, silly movies. Spaceballs, I remember being like a huge hit in my house. And just watching film after film after film. My brother and I thought, well, we can do this so hard. So we had like an old beat up VHS camera. It was like one of those like really long ones where you put the VHS tape in and then it like locks in. And my parents did not let us use it, but we used it anyway. And we made like hundreds of awful films and we ruined the camera in the process and we got in trouble, but they also sort of appreciated it. And my brother found them and actually converted them to digital. And I have them now on like my computer and it's just great fun to watch. So again, like I think the theme in my 40s that I'm realizing now about entertainment is, are you entertained with making entertainment is way more important than anything else.
What was your what was your favorite piece to film and why?
Definitely in my senior year of high school, we had a film festival for students, and I decided to make a feature-length film. So I made a 1 hour long movie, which is technically feature length. It could have been 90 minutes because I had a lot of extra footage, but I wanted it to be good. So I edited it down, but the process took forever. It was exhilarating. I cast people from my high school. I had to fire one actor like partway through. I had to deal with everything directors complain about, like people showing up late, people not being on mark, people forgetting lines. And then I also like would screw up a lot. Like I'd record the audio with the boom mic too far away, and then I would have to like crank the volumes up in post editing because there was no way to go back and refilm things. I also filmed like several scenes in this loud Mexican cafeteria. This is all in the Bay Area of California. And I didn't realize that the loud music playing in the background was going to be like deafening all of the actors' lines. So I ended up uh putting like fake subtitles in and everyone thought it was on purpose, but it was like actually because you couldn't understand them. So that was my favorite filmmaking experience for sure.
Can people find that project?
No, there's no way to find it. I have it and I could release it. And actually, the only time, I guess technically, if you were, this is sad, but the lead in the movie was one of my best friends, and he passed away from liver cancer in his 30s. And I remember taking the end scene where his final lines are, and I like made a short clip and I posted it on Facebook for like a memorial for him. And so I think that would still be somewhere on the internet, but I would be more than happy to release it. It's not that I'm ashamed of it. It's just literally a 1999 high school kids movie project that is like so much ripping off the movie Clerks by Kevin Smith. I mean, it's not ripping it off in any way that you could prove, but it's just basically I saw Clerks 500 times, worshipped everything Kevin Smith did to make that movie, and I like literally like it's divided into five sections with like a word between each section, just like Clerks was. Like I used it to even like write the script. I was like, well, what did he do? So you would never know that if I didn't say that, but to me, it's so obvious.
Why did you make the switch from being a filmmaker to a musician?
I didn't make a switch. I did everything concurrently. I did everything at the same time. I've always played music. I've always made movies. I've always written. I've always done cartoons. I've always written poetry. I am I'm restless. I meditate every day to help me with that. I've been doing that since I was 12. It does help, but I have a lot of energy and um I don't like to do one thing. So I've never switched. I'm still actually today when I get off this podcast, I'm going to finish recording a song. It's going to be my first song I've recorded in like I think 4 years probably, and I'm making a music video for it. And I'm going to draw on like an iPad like silly cartoons. And it's I have two kids, so I'm going to release it as a kids music video, but it's for me. I'm not.
How did you balance becoming a father?
How do I balance it? That's a good question. I don't balance it. I prefer being a father to anything else. So I actually err in the side of being a father. I would rather lose my career and have my children love me and not say that their dad was busy with his career. So as much as I admire John Lennon and like all these people from my childhood, uh, they struggled with the same question. And I know like John Lennon called his kid to say goodnight the night he was murdered, and like that's just very tragic to me because he had to call his kid because he wasn't there to tuck his kid in bed because he was at a recording studio. So I see like the trade-offs, and a lot of my idols have like cut their career short when they had children, and I used to think as a younger person that that was like really annoying and like why'd they do that? What about the fans? And now I like more than get it. You need to be present for your family and your children, also for your wife, for the mother, the if your husband is raising kids, it doesn't matter. Whoever it is, your spouse, you should be there for them too. And so my wife is a very generous person, and she gives me a lot of time to do other projects, and the projects work out, and we balance our budget together, and she works full time, and so. But what we've both done is really made sure that we have a life that's centered around our kids. We have phones off and TVs off from 4 to 6 every night. We try to like do family stuff.
Any advice for any aspiring professional who wants to work in this field?
Yeah. Don't aspire to work in this field, just join the field. I think life uh I heard this the other day and I thought it was really interesting, but like when you say you're going to marry someone when you're 20, you don't realize when you're 20 how much you're going to grow, not how much they're going to grow. People worry about other people changing, but you change too. So I would say like your ambitions and your aspirations will change as you age. So there's nothing wrong with entering this industry, but if you pin your goals to like markers that came before you, the industry changes. Like no one cares anymore if you do a late night appearance if you're a stand-up comedian, but instead you want like great crowd work clips on Instagram. Instagram didn't exist in the 90s, so you couldn't aspire to that. So I think if you're a comedian, just be a comedian. Go to open mics in your town. If you're a writer, join a writing collective and see what other people think. Get some feedback. Maybe go to an MFA if you think that's your path. But the point I'm trying to make is attaching money and success to art is something that the industry does, but I don't think it's healthy for the people in the industry to do it, especially early on. It's some people succeed by sheer determination and they're great, and I'm not like them, but most of the people who enjoy it, they're just enjoying it. And so it took me a very long time. I enjoyed my life to a certain point in the entertainment industry, and then I absolutely hated it for about 10 years, and now I love it again. And that 10 years was because I started putting way too much pressure on myself to be successful in the industry's terms, and especially as the industry was literally turning over. I mean, it's crazy how much the power and gatekeeping has switched.
What inspired you to create art?
Other artists and art in general. I think inspiration is the most powerful feeling in the world, and I think it's the most beautiful feeling. It's like love, but it's with an object and a feeling and like um an intangible yet palpable thing out there. And I don't think it should be taken for granted. When you feel inspired, that's like divinity, that's like God, that's whatever your version of holiness. And if you're an atheist or a nihilist, it's still there. It's a real feeling that's there for you to grab. And so that's always going to be my inspiration. And usually I'm really inspired when I see people either younger than me or older than me doing it, which is kind of weird because you age as you know, I'm in my 40s now, but it's never changed. It's like people younger than me inspire me and people older than me. And I think I feel lucky that I feel that way because I don't know if everyone feels that, but I'm like, and I'm inspired by you. I'm inspired by any person who's putting themselves out there because vulnerability is scary and yet it's the way we connect. And I think art when it's done right, when it gels with people, there's no like you don't need a judge, you don't need an opinion, you don't need like an expert to tell you if it's art. I think if it inspires you, what we're talking about, then it's art.
Last question. What is next for you, Mike?
Oh gosh. Well, literally, like I said, next is I'm gonna finish recording this song and I'm gonna make a music video. But I think the next thing for me is I'm ready to accept a larger role in the world of like art and entertainment meeting like um the changing consciousness of society. I feel like um there's a lot of like strong feelings out there right now in the world, not just in America, about politics and about um your dignity and your rights and things like that. And I've cared deeply about that my whole life, but I've always felt like it was polite and practical to be private about it. And now that I see so many people being impolite and mean about it, I feel like as an artist, it's my job to bring a thoughtful approach to all of that. So I'm not going to make like political songs or movies or essays. What I'm going to do is try to inspire other people to see like the third view of everything. So instead of taking one of two obvious sides, there's usually a third way to look at it, and that's like the healthier view, which is um, I am not religious. I was not raised religious, but I do love this religious quote. Um, be of the world, be in the world, but not of the world. And I think that that's like the solution to a lot of what's going on. I think people are losing their minds because they believe there's like a right and a wrong. And I think it's very clear that that's really in the eye of the person judging right and wrong. So we all make mistakes and we all apologize and we all have a different ability to do both. And I think what's next for Mike is incorporating that into my art, more of a drive to get people to just pay attention to your inability or ability to be compassionate for others and to be forgiving and to listen.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, it was fun. Thank you. And I'm excited for your career and for you to continue to improve and enjoying the podcasting empire. It's awesome.
If you want to know more about his work, check out his Substack by going to Mike Oppenheim. Thank you for listening. See you next time.